Hey guys, I'm Scott with Trail Power, and today we're going to take a look at another new product. Today we have the Seyvum DP3 portable tire inflator, and just like it sounds, this is a tiny little compressor that you can keep in the trunk of your car and pump up your tires, your kids' bike tires, soccer balls, all those sorts of things. But what makes this different is this is lithium powered, so it's completely cordless. So we're going to take a look at this and let you know what we think of it. Now, Seyvum sent this out and asked us to review it, and we said we'd be happy to. But we're going to tell you if we love it, and we're also going to tell you if we hate it. So let's take a look inside and see what's in the box. So we have this nice black carrying case. It looks to be some sort of a Cordura, has a carrying handle, semi-rigid, and a nice rubberized zipper. So first impressions are pretty good. Okay, once we get inside, we have the unit itself. We have a very long 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter, so I'm guessing that if the battery runs out, you can run this directly off a 12-volt from your car. So that's cool. If you have big truck tires or something and you run down the battery, you're not going to be stuck. Then we have our air hose, and this is feels like a very solid, nice quality air hose. And then we have, let's see, some adapters. We have a ball adapter. It looks like we have a Presta adapter, and then we have a pool toy kind of fitting. Then we have a charging cable. So you'll have to provide your own charging brick. Now this is USB-C on one end and USB-A on the other. And so, yeah, so USB-C plugs into the device, and then USB-A would plug into whatever power brick you have, or if you have a USB port on your car or what have you, you can charge from that. So we'll give that a try and let you know how long it takes to charge up. And then the only other things that are in here are an instruction manual and a little warranty registration card. So let's take a look at the device itself. Let's turn this on. Okay, so you can see it has a nice display with tells us our PSI, and then it has the setting here. So the setting is important because you can preset this to what you want to fill the tire or the ball up to, and then it will automatically shut off when it fills. So you can just plug it in, set it, and forget it. So looks like we can cycle here between different presets. So like this one says 38 PSI, and it shows a little icon of a bicycle. There's an icon of a soccer ball at 15 PSI, and then a individual preset, and then there's a motorcycle at 41.5 PSI, and a car at 32 PSI. And so we can adjust all of those presets to whatever we want them to be. And then we can also just, if we go into car and it says 32, and I say, I really want 35, I can just press the up button and go up to 35 PSI. And so I can just go up and down there and then turn it on. And then it'll run until it's full, and then it'll automatically shut off. So that's pretty cool. And as far as the volume level, you can hear how loud that is. It's not super loud. It's not too obnoxious, but it's a compressor. So it's not going to be super quiet either. And then over here on the side, we have a deflate button. So while I have this plugged into my car, if I go too high and I put in too much air, I can just press this button on the side and it'll release some air back out until I hit the pressure that I want. So let's go ahead and plug this air hose in and just see how this looks. I see that it does have a nice seal there. It has some sort of a gasket to give us a good air seal. And then it does have a swivel valve on the end of the air hose. So that's a nice detail, makes that really easy to get screwed on without twisting up your hose. And then we have our adapters, like I said, for ball and for pool toys and those sorts of things. Those actually can be stored in the side here. So there's this little red rubber flap here and a compartment, and you can slide those in there and then close that up so you don't lose those parts, and they're there when you need them. There's also a light. So if you're working at night, have a flat tire in the dark, you can turn on that light and run that off the lithium pack as well. Okay, and then this cord that we talked about, let's just open that up. We have this 12 volt cigarette lighter cord, and this is super long. So I'm guessing that if you have large truck tires like I do, you may run out of batteries before you get all those tires filled back up. So you could plug this in and then run directly off a 12 volt and get those tires filled up, even if you need more than the battery capacity. So we're going to go ahead and do some tests with this. We're going to see how this performs on different kinds of tires and how the battery holds up. We're going to test it and see how long it takes to recharge the battery. And so stick with us and we'll show you how it looks. Okay, now let's do a test on a bicycle. So here we have a tire that is completely flat. You can see there, and it's rated for about 65 psi. So let's go ahead and set up our pump to go to 65 psi, and once again we'll see how long it takes. So we'll go ahead and turn that on, and we can switch modes here to our bicycle. You can see that corner right there, hopefully, and then default it's set at 26, so we're going to crank that up to 65. Oops. We want to be in PSI. There we go. Let's try that again. PSI, bicycle, it's at 48. We're going to go up to 65. Okay, and then we just hit start. Okay, we're at 65 psi. I started this a few seconds late, so I'll let it run a few seconds long. So basically a minute and 10 seconds, we filled up that tire from 0 to 64 psi, 65 psi, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. So you can imagine you could pump up a ton of tires without having to recharge the battery here. So if you're going to be using this for bicycles, I think it's an ideal application. This is my wife's Subaru, and I have flattened her tire. So we're down to about 10 psi, if not less. So we're going to go ahead and start up the inflator. You can see I've gone ahead and attached the Schrader valve there. And let's go ahead and turn that on. Now you can see the preset for the car is at 35 psi. Now we want to turn that down to her setting, which is 32. So we'll just move that down to 32 psi. And that is now the preset for a car on here until we changed again. So we've got that set to 32 psi. We're going to go ahead and start our timer and see how long it takes. And let's go ahead and turn that on. Okay, we stopped. We hit 32 psi, and it looks like it switched over to bar here. Let's switch that back to psi. Yep, 32 psi, it came to a dead stop, and we did that in 13 minutes and 7 seconds, and we still have 2 bars left on the battery out of 4. So let's see how warm this is. It's not warm at all. The hose is a little warm, but the unit is cool, which is pretty amazing. That's one of the challenges with small compressors, is that they overheat and seize up. So that is pretty darn impressive. So is it fast? No. It took 13 minutes to get to that point. So would I want to use this with huge truck tires? on a regular basis for airing up and airing down? Definitely not. But for what it is, for filling up a car tire when you have a flat, and just keeping this in your trunk, just like you do your jump pack, that's an awesome application. Also, like we said, for filling up kids' balls and bike tires, motorcycle tires, anything like that, this would be awesome. Let's see, this is a 225 60R17, just to give you an idea of the size of the tire we filled up. And we filled it up, basically you saw, from 0. So it was basically down to 0 PSI. We filled it up to 32 PSI in 13 minutes. And we did it with 2 bars left on the battery in this little 1-pound unit. So yeah, I'd say I'm impressed. I'm mostly impressed just that this thing isn't overheated. Okay, we're back inside and we finished our tire test. Now we're going to go ahead and do our charging test. We're going to see how long this takes to recharge. You can see we're down to about 2 bars from the original 4 bars. So let's see how long it takes to get that back up to full. Now we could do this with the cable that came with it. That came with this USB-C to USB-A cable. But if we did that, we'd be using a more lightweight charger, so something like this iPhone charger, which charges at 5 watts. So to speed things up a bit, I'm going to go ahead and use my 20-watt USB-C charger, and this is USB-C to USB-C, and you can get this from pretty much anywhere. This is the one that says Pure Gear. We're going to go ahead and see how long it takes to charge up with this USB-C charger. So let's go ahead and plug that in. And now we can see it's flashing, so it is charging. There, get rid of the glare. And then let's go ahead and start our timer here. And so we'll just let that run and see how long that takes to get up to 4 bars. And we're done charging. You can see we're at full bars now. We're about an hour 30 to hour 39 minutes, somewhere in there. And so around an hour and a half, you can recharge this unit after fully filling a tire from completely flat. So that's not too bad. And then you can just stick this in your trunk and have it ready to use again. So I did check with the manufacturer while we were charging, and it does sound like there is a limit of 10-watt charging. So even if you go to a faster charger like this USB-C to USB-C charger we're using here, I don't think it's necessarily going to charge any faster. So if I hear anything different from the manufacturer, I'll leave that in the video notes. So using the standard cable probably is going to get you as good a charging as you're going to get. And just plug this into a 10-watt brick like you would have with an iPad charger or something like that. You should be good. So there we go, all charged back up. Okay, after doing the testing on inflating car tires and bicycle tires and recharging, question is, would I buy this? Would I fork out my own money to buy this? And would I want to keep this in my car? And the short answer is absolutely yes. 100%. I'm actually pretty shocked. I came into this pretty skeptical that something that weighs less than a pound could do a good job inflating tires, and that the batteries would last, because I know how much power compressors draw. But this is a super efficient compressor, and the quality and the packaging is really nice. The attention to detail on the controls is nice. The fact that it holds your presets, so it remembers what your auto settings are, your bicycle settings are, and all those sorts of things. It's a really nice package. And would I want this in my car? Absolutely. Would I want this in my teenagers' cars if I had teenagers that were driving? Absolutely. I'd want to have one of these, and I'd want to have a jump starter in every vehicle for sure. Now, would I count on this for like overlanding? No, I wouldn't, because I have pretty large tires on my truck, and I air down and air up all the time, and so I use a large twin ARB compressor, but that's like a $600 item, and I use that for very rugged off-road terrain with huge tires. So I'm not going to count on this for that. But would I have this in daily driver? Absolutely. Would I put this in my kit with my bicycle gear? 100%. It's perfect for inflating bicycle tires. It's compact. It will inflate a ton of tires without having to recharge. Would I want this if I was into youth sports? Basketball, soccer, volleyball? Absolutely. Being able to decide what PSI you want your balls all inflated to, so they all perform the same, and to be able to just have that as a preset and just know that every ball is inflated identical, 100%. So yeah, I highly recommend this for anybody who finds themselves either as a driver of a car, a bicycle, a motorcycle, or is into sports with any kind of inflatable balls, things like that. I think it'd probably also be great for air mattresses or inflatable pillows, things like that for camping. It would be awesome to be able to take car camping and be able to inflate your air mattress when you get into your tent versus sitting there puffing into it. So great package. Nice case, good accessories. I think this is an 11-foot cord. I looked this up. So if you do need to go and do multiple tires and you're going to run down the battery, you can plug in a 12 volt and run it that way as well. It did never overheated on me. The case never even got warm, which is pretty incredible. And once again, we checked on the charging, and the base included charger will charge this at the full rated rate at the 10 watt rate. So just plug this into a good brick like an iPad charger or something like that, and go from USB-A to USB-C, and you'll be in great shape. So hope this is helpful for you guys. And do us a favor, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something from it, go ahead and click the like and subscribe button below so we can keep creating content like this. And also, if you find this useful and this is something you'd want to have in your rig, then we have included Amazon links below. By clicking those, you can purchase those on Amazon, and it gives us a little bit of a commission for bringing the sale to them. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps us to keep creating videos like this. And we appreciate that. So we're glad to have you guys here. We'll be bringing more products to Trail Power and to our videos here on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time.